My name is Dealinaire Shook, and I am the information collector. Today, I'm coming to you from Jonesboro, Tennessee. Not only is Jonesboro, Tennessee the oldest town in Tennessee, it's also an amazing place that transports you back in time. It's got a huge amount of history, and I'm going to share a little bit of that with you. There's no way I could get it all in one broadcast, but it will give you enough to show you why a road trip to Jonesboro is worth investigating. So let's get started. Last Thursday, Taiwan Today published an article announcing the opening of Taiwan's largest solar plant. This solar plant, with 480,000 solar panels, began operation on March 31st. It provides 200 million kilowatts of power, about 50,000 homes worth. They were also pleased to announce that renewable energy production in Taiwan exceeds the generation of power by the country's 3 nuclear reactors. And this is another great way to enjoy Jonesboro. Across from me is the historic Eureka Inn. Right here is the Blair Moore House Bed and Breakfast. This is a town that is an amazing day trip or road trip destination. And whether you just spend a few hours in town, whether you just stop for gasoline and roll through the downtown, or whether you spend the night, it's an amazing place. And you should look it up. Last Wednesday, in a press release, the Brazilian Army announced a communications test for their new Genesis fire support system by the Army Artillery Command. This system centralizes fire direction and coordination at the brigade level. It uses robotic equipment to achieve increased accuracy and speed. Last Wednesday, the United States State Department issued a press release announcing the release of newly digitized macrofiche supplement to foreign relations of the United States 1961 through 1963, Cuban Missile Crisis and aftermath. This is a complete digitization of the collection. The collection itself was issued in 2012, which was the 50th anniversary of the Cuban Missile Crisis, but it was not full text searchable. This is all online. It's amazing. And whether you are a historian, whether you grew up during the Cuban Missile Crisis, whether you are a war gamer, or whether you are interested in military history, this collection will be interesting. For example, December 2nd, 1963 memo from Gordon Chase to McGeorge Bundy. Subject, 6 p.m. Cuba meeting. Attached are 2 copies of the talking points which State prepared for the Secretary. I assume the meeting is on again. Is this right? In good conscience, I should point out that I heard through the grapevine that Ben Reed cut state's invitation list from 5 to 2 in deference to the president's inclination to abhor a crowd. Now, Mr. Chase goes on to say that he'd really like to attend because he's never been to a presidential meeting before. But if he can't, he'll be glad to stay and mind the store. But he says if he doesn't hear back, he's going to show up. Amazing. I mean, it really gives a feel for what went on. December 13th, 1963, top secret CIA report. Fidel Castro's growing military power. Examples of what this gave. At the end of 1962, Cuba had 6 Kronstadt sub-chasers, (16 P-6 motor torpedo boats, 12 Komar-class guided missile boats. They had 600 to 700 T-34 and T-55 tanks, 1,000 artillery pieces, 700 anti-aircraft guns, 20,000 military vehicles, and their 30 Frog free rocket over ground tactical rockets were based at Santiago de Las Vegas Armored Camp. So, if you're interested in any of this, it's worth looking up. Last Monday, ArcelorMittal announced in a press release a $500 million investment in advanced steelmaking at sites in Germany. This is about 2 things: advanced steelmaking and sustainability. They will be using direct reduction of iron ore and electric arc furnaces in combination to reduce their output of carbon dioxide. At plants in Eisenhüttenstadt and in Bremen. Bremen is more up near the Baltic Sea, and Eisenhüttenstadt is more out toward Poland. This announcement follows the recent plans for the expansion of Germany's hydrogen infrastructure. And a few weeks ago, I discussed Japanese plans for a hydrogen infrastructure program. Hydrogen's getting real popular right now. If you're investing, it might be something to look at. These upgrades will cost around 2 billion euros, which is very interesting. Rainer Blaschek, the CEO of ArcelorMittal Flachstahl Deutschland, said the plans hinged on, quote, necessary support and access to funding by the EU. Their current direct reduction of iron ore and electric arc furnace plant in Hamburg is the only one in Europe. And they're about to switch to using hydrogen instead of natural gas. Now, this is not a one-step process. It'll be a gradual conversion that begins this year with the conversion of 2 German blast furnaces from coal to natural gas. Then the direct reduction / arc furnace plants will be installed. Now, this is where it gets exciting, especially for me. I'm an organic chemistry nerd. My first romance novel used organic chemistry as a MacGuffin. Okay. In their Bremen plant, they're going to use natural gas for iron ore reduction until the regional hydrogen network comes online. Then they're going to produce hydrogen from electrolysis, which is very interesting. We've been able to do this for a while, but it's not been financially viable. Basically, you stick 2 terminals in water, and one terminal generates oxygen, the other terminal generates hydrogen. It's been done before, but it's a little expensive. Now, during the same period, there are plans to use natural gas to generate hydrogen using something called pyrolysis. Now, the other one was electrolysis. This is pyrolysis. Are we good? Okay. Got it sorted out. All right. Sorry about that little technical glitch there. Merle's got it all under control. Okay. You sure, Merle? Okay, good. All right. Now, as I was saying, during this same period, ArcelorMittal plans to generate hydrogen from natural gas using pyrolysis. Okay, Merle says I need to hurry up. All right. Basically, pyrolysis is fire. What they're going to do is, pyrolysis is how charcoal is made. So they're going to toast the natural gas, and then when they get the gases generated, they're going to filter them out to get the hydrogen, which is really cool. Like I said, I'm a organic chemistry nerd. Last Thursday, Australian construction material company Boral announced the sale of its half share in a joint venture to a German building material company for $1 billion. They expect an after-tax profit of $450 million to be partially used to reduce net debt to their desired level of $1.5 billion. The company also expects a rosy picture ahead, so they're going to buy back 10% of outstanding shares, 122 million shares, using money from the sale of its stake in the joint venture. And once again, we are coming out of this pandemic. We went into it with a solid economy. A year was not enough to dent that economy. It's there. And by the grace of God, good leadership, and vaccinations, we're coming out of it. Thank God.